Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sony. Today I'm showing you a quick tutorial on how to make your own custom graphics for 2K26. Shouts out to Tentacle on PWM. He is the one that actually made the template for this. I'm going to go start off right out of the gate by saying you do need Adobe After Effects for this. It is not a free program, so go about your own way of getting it. It is a paid program. So now that we got that out of the way, you're going to download, he has this on the Pro Wrestling Mods Discord server. So if you go in there, shouts out Tentacle. I'll put it all up on the screen of where you need to go and whatever. And he also has the guides. I'm going to show you the guides along the way. I'm going to flash those up on the screen that kind of show you what you're looking for in terms of making graphics. Another step as well is I personally just want to make another shouts out to Vecteezy. Vecteezy.com is where I get a majority of my backgrounds for my Titantrons. So like for example, you can just look up like green background. Make sure you set it on videos. You can sort it by free licensing if you don't want to pay. You can find all kinds of different stuff in here. Paid version just kind of gets you fancier things, looks a little more, has better aesthetics, stuff like that. Anyways, let's open one of these template files. So basically, you got 5 separate graphics. You've got your Titantron, your stage, your Barricade, your banner, and your apron. So I'm going to start off by opening up the Titantron here. Well, actually, I'm going to show you guys an example of what I have made in the past, and then that way you guys can just kind of follow along. So for example, this background I got off of Vecteezy. So when you open up your template, you're going to see this here. Now, I'm going to flash it up on the screen for a second. This is what your Titantron, this is what you're looking for in the Titantron. You can see on the bottom, it's kind of a hidden part. This is technically, if you think about it, this is technically for the modern arenas. So I guess it doesn't really apply in terms of like if you use like the rectangular, like old school Titantrons, you know, like Raw and stuff like that of that nature. But this right here is what you're looking for. So for example, I downloaded this off of Vecteezy. You can center it. As you can see, I need to stretch it a little bit. So what I would do in this scenario, you're going to want to make sure you're holding shift when you stretch this. Otherwise, if you don't, you could theoretically just do this if you really wanted to. Personally speaking, I just like to shift click it. It's nothing crazy to me. It is going to crop off the top and the bottom. It is what it is. You can do it however you like. It's personal preference. So, for example, this whole template, every single template is a 20-second template. So what I like to do personally is this video is not going to loop properly. It's just going to end abruptly. It's not going to look clean. So what I would do for this is make sure you have it highlighted in the timeline bar. Right-click it. You're going to want to time, stretch the layer. It's going to say down here, new duration. You're going to change that to 10 seconds. Reason for that is because now it's going to speed it up. It's going to make it 10 seconds. But now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take that layer and you're going to go to edit, you're going to copy, you're going to go edit, paste. Or you can Control-C, Control-V, whatever you prefer. I normally do shortcuts. Reason for that is because now if you take the second layer and you stretch it over to the end of the other layer, you just want to make sure you don't have any gaps in there, otherwise you're going to have like a flicker in your Titantron. And then with the second top layer, you're going to right-click, time, reverse the layer. Now you have your looped video for your Titantron. As you can see right there in the middle, it just loops, and then when it gets to the end, it just starts back over and loops. Now what I would do in this scenario, personally, is if you want to use this for the rest of your graphics, you're going to want to go ahead and actually export this. So you're going to want to go to File, Export. Actually, you got to make sure you have it selected, so make sure you have the Titantron selected here. File, Export, Render Queue. Personally speaking, with my you're not gonna see all of this. Let me get all this out of here. I apologize. It's because I've had this program open before, this file open before. So you're gonna have one of these down here. Personally speaking, if you click this arrow and you click Make Template, you can change your render settings. It should default to, I believe, 15 megabytes a second. That's totally fine. You can mess around with that however you want. 15 is totally acceptable. And then you can see over here, Output 2, if you click that, it's gonna make, you know, you can name it, put it wherever you want it. The reason I recommend doing that is because now that you have that exported and you say you drag that back in, you have that as just one solid video now, and it's less to worry about. So now when you go to your other graphics, for example, you don't have to loop it every time. You just have the video. Yeah. So then you'll just have the video. It'll be 20 seconds. You're good to go. So that's how you make a Titantron. And then, yeah, so for example, like at the end there, when you render these out, when you're in the render queue, when you go to export it, you just click render over here. So like once you have that ready to go, you click render. So make your Titantron, you're good to go. Let's move on to the next one. Personally, the next one I like to do is the apron. So with the apron, this is what you're going to see when you open up the apron. So for example, you can, I wouldn't recommend working on this layer. What I would do is I would go over to the separate files. So you've got the ring post itself, and then you've got the ring apron LED. So this is going to be the ring side, the LED barricade, and then this is your ring post. So now, as you can see, I've already filled in my layers. Like I said, you can do whatever you want, but as you can see, this is what I have made for a template. So, you know, and then you can do extra stuff in the program as well. So like my logos are animated, and that is just done by adding a logo in and then using the effects and presets. So you can mess around in that and do your own thing there. And then essentially you just want to make sure when you're done, you go back to your apron itself. You know, make sure you've got it however you want it. And then, you know, just go to File, Export, Add to Render Queue. Same thing down here, you know, just change your render settings if you want. Output should already be named like what the thing is, so like apron.mp4, and then just render it out again, and then you're done with your apron. Alright, as I was saying, so you open up the barricade. This is what your barricade's going to look like. So you're going to have all these separate sections, and they're all color-coded. So the barricade is the main barricade. You've got like your announce desk, which is over here, behind the prime bottle, I should say. Your center barricade, your left, your right, and then you've got your ramp barricade connector. This one right here, I just actually recently learned, is a ramp divider. There's actually no separate spot for that, so what I personally did was I just added in a video and stretched it. So you guys can do this however, you can do this part however you want. It's just this specific part is actually not a part of the like template itself. So you will notice like a gray spot on your barricade if you don't fill in that gap. So like for example, like just go into like center, and then as you can see, I've got stuff in there already. I just hit it, and then you can just kind of fill it in as you go. Make your barricade, and you're done with that. And then like I said, you know, once you're done with that, File, Export, Add to Render Queue. Make sure you are on the barricade. If you're not, you'll wind up just rendering these, which you don't want. So just make sure you're on barricade, File, Export, Add to Render Queue. Down here, like I said, change what you want, name what you want, render, and then you're done. And then when it comes to the banner, as you can see, the banner is pretty simple relatively. It's basically just one giant thing. For the purposes of what I've done for this, I've just added a moving video, so I have something there. Insert my graphics here so you guys kind of get an idea creatively what you want to do. You know, kind of mix and match your own stuff. And then same process once you're done with that. There's nothing really else here besides the banner, so just File, Export, Render Queue, name it what you want, put it where you want. I personally keep everything named it the same because when you import it into the game, it makes it super easy. So now, once you're done with your banner, you move on to the last but not least, the stage. Also, did want to mention a side note. You might get pop-ups saying, like, this font isn't, like, downloaded for the template or whatever. That's fine. You might see something where it says the project has to be converted. That's fine. None of that stuff matters. Generally speaking, the font is just for, like, placeholder stuff in the template, so you're not really looking for that. Here's the stage. Now, this one might look a little overwhelming. Personally speaking, if you just follow the guide, it makes it super easy. I'm gonna flash up just an example of my graphics real quick, so you guys see how I did mine. So as you can see, mine's kind of filled in with a lot of different things. So like my large walls have my stable logo. My Minitron left and right are my the people in the stable, and then the middle is also the logo again, and then the rest of it is like Minitron left and right. And I just kind of filled stuff in. So once you're done with your stage, you make sure you have the stage out of all. This is probably the most important one. Like, you don't want to render just that. So just make sure you have the stage selected. You go to File, Export, Add to Render Queue. Change your settings, make sure it's named properly. Like I said, I keep everything as banner, stage, barricade, whatever. Render it out. Alright, so once you're done rendering, you basically just want to use a program called Rad Video Tools. That's what's going to convert it to the game itself, like the game files itself. So you're going to want to go on over to where you just converted your files to. So for example, for me, also, I like to put them all in the same folder. So you're going to see all of this. Disregard the alt in there. But you've got like your Apron, banner, barricade, stage, and titantrons. So like if I open this up for example, you should be able to view the videos you just made. So what you want to do is you want to highlight all of them. So you can do them one by one, but I highlight all of them. You go to Bank It. It's going to ask you have multiple files. Do you want to process them one by one into separate files? Yes. You can choose where you want to save them. Personally speaking, I just do the extra step of putting them in their own separate folder. So then that way I don't have to change it here. Like, it's just going to go into the folder that they were in, essentially. You don't have to change anything on here at all. It's already going to be, it should already be Bank2 format. That's the game format. You don't need to compress any audio, anything like that. You're going to want to click Batch. It's going to bring up this. You're going to want to click Start, and it's going to render everything out one by one. Once it's done, you can click Close. If you can save the batch list if you want to. I never do. You don't have to. And then your files are converted and ready to be imported into the game. So essentially, if you use Tribute or you use Meta, it works the same way either way. You can import them through each whatever program you use respectively. I personally use Tribute last year, but I use Meta this year. So I'm going to show you guys what they look like in game after you've imported them. So as you guys can see, these are basically the ones that I just kind of showed you. I had the template that I made. So as you can see, like, you've got all the aprons made up. You've got the LEDs, the titantrons. Everything's here pretty much. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty much the video. Hey guys, just wanted to add a quick message at the end of the video regarding a custom universe mode called Brand Warfare. 2 shows, 1 night, custom universe mode featuring modded weapons, modded graphics, modded arenas, modded wrestlers, cause, the whole 9. I put a heavy emphasis on modded because Vince and I have gone ahead and gone on our own way of making our own custom weapons ourselves. Graphics are done, and shouts out to Tentacle for the graphics template again, and Hatavio for the guides. Everybody, thank you. And if you guys are into Brand Warfare, come check us out on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, the whole 9, TikTok. Anyways, peace out. See you guys later.